Northern Irishman took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The Lions weren't alone on the boat. Also on board were 300 stoats and weasels, who were brought over to eliminate New Zealand's rabbit problem. The first ever Lions captain, Robert Seddon, died of drowning midway through the tour while sculling on a river. Andrew Stoddart, who was another of the cricketers there, took over and was the star of the tour. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. Before World War II, the Lions had a dark blue strip, which on the 1930 tour forced the All Blacks to play in all white. So in 1950, the iconic red shirts, white shorts and blue and green socks combination was born. It remains the symbol of the greatest alliance of adversaries in all of sport. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Good morning, I'm Sam Quek and you're listening to Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. It's Wednesday, December the 3rd and 2 minutes past 5. I tell you what, it all went off last night, didn't it? 14 goals across the 3 games, chaos at the Cottage. And Nick, did you see any of it? I know you like an early night, but that City-Fulham game, oh...
Yeah, of course. I mean, Phil Foden is back with a bang, scored an absolute screamer at the Cottage, but obviously Man City's got problems at the other end, haven't they?
Yeah, to be honest, all the goals were pretty decent, to be fair. I was watching Newcastle-Tottenham, but couldn't keep my eyes off
Alex Iwobi, what a player he is.
Unbelievable. But yeah, was not bored watching any of those matches last night. And what's on the way over the next hour or so?
Well, we'll start at Craven Cottage, obviously, where Haaland hit a century. Fulham almost produced the fight back of the season. We'll hear from Blackburn boss Valerian Ismail on why he thinks Championship refereeing is terrible. He was absolutely fuming after the 1-1 draw with Ipswich. And after Haaland hit 100, we're asking, who is the greatest striker the Premier League has ever seen?
Good question.
Get involved on the usual number, 03717 223344, or on the text 81089.
Who you having, Nick? Go early.
I'm a big Drogba fan, but that's just because of probably my age, and I was at university when he was banging them in.
He was just popping up everywhere, wasn't he?
He started really badly and then just became an unstoppable. Like the first season, I remember everyone was like, who is this guy? He's useless. And then he sort of started scoring goals off his bum and his shin, and then he just turned into...
He turned into one of those players that if you weren't a Chelsea fan, you just hate him. And when it's like that, it's because he used to always pop up and score one.
Yeah.
Towards the back end of games. Great player. I liked him, but just so frustrated because he always used to score. Always.
Did he get used to score a lot against Liverpool? I remember he scored quite a lot against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah, just a frustrating player. And that's when you know, as an opposition, if they're a good player or not.
And a big match player as well.
Yeah. Aguero for me.
Is it?
Quality player, wasn't he?
I mean, in terms of finishing, it's probably Premier League's not seen a better finisher than that.
Yeah, unbelievable. But even Salah, I think Salah doesn't get enough recognition. Obviously, obvious choice being a Liverpool player, but yeah, I think Aguero.
I tell you what, who's often underrated is Andy Cole, because he didn't take penalties. Yeah. And he scored about 180 goals in the Premier League. And I I think he often gets forgotten about.
Oh, interesting debate.
Because he was so good at Newcastle and Leicester, and then, brilliant at
It'd
Man
be interesting
United.
to see what Harry Kane's numbers would be like without penalties.
Yeah, that's a good. I'll see if I can pull that up for you, right? But obviously, we'll get the listeners to get involved on that. They'll tell us.
Yeah, text us 81089 or call 03717 223344. Thank you very much, Nick. Right, let's get into it because we're building up to talkSPORT breakfast at 6 a.m. with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist. Okay, it was another eventful night in the Premier League. Fulham nearly produced a comeback of the ages. And here's how it sounded on talkSPORT.
Doku with the jinking touch and a deflected shot, and it's gone in for 5. And it's more misery for Fulham here, but it's a magnificent night for Manchester City. Chukwueze! They've got a 4th! This is absolutely extraordinary! 9 goals at Craven Cottage, and Manchester City escape with victory by the skin of their teeth. Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. Grealish gets the shot away. It's deflected in, and Everton have finally won in the Premier League at Bournemouth. An overhead kick from Romero, and it's smuggled goalwards and in. Christian Romero celebrates what could be a huge goal for Thomas Frank. It's finished Newcastle United 2, Spurs 2.
Yeah, full of drama last night across the 3 games in the Premier League. But first things first, a huge congratulations to Erling Haaland. talkSPORT's Joe Shannon was on the comms at Craven Cottage.
Shearer's record is gone. And for Erling Haaland, as I say, the quickest any player has scored 100 Premier League goals, 100 in 111 games, Martin. And Alan's record was 124 appearances, which tells you everything about how great a Premier League presence Erling Haaland has been.
Yeah, what a player, especially he's not particularly been in the Premier League that long. To hit that milestone took him just 111 games to hit that 100. 13 games faster than Shearer, but what a specimen he is. His athleticism, his height, and then when you're seeing him on like social media, YouTube, the videos he's putting out to show what he does to keep in shape, to be the best, you got to hand it to him. Works hard and gets the results. But Man City, how are you fans feeling? Because while you're firing in the goals at one end, people are questioning if Man City have problems at the other end of the pitch. talkSPORT's Martin Keown saw them go 5-1 up at Fulham before Marco Silva's team made it 5-4 and nearly equalised at the death.
What was important is they get 3 points, and Cavadio's clearance off the line at the end was just as important as all the goals that were scored and Foden's wonderful performance. But there are question marks. There are question marks, and the rest of the Premier League looks at that and says, if you go after this City team, there's a weakness, and you can get through if you're inspired. But you've got to be given that platform by the manager. But when he opened the door to that, Marco Silva, you saw all this wonderful talent coming off the pitch, off the bench, and giving it all. And it was made for a cracking evening. But we could have seen this from the start if he'd have played with a more attacking formation.
Yeah, cracking game indeed. City closed the gap at the top of the table to 2 points, just behind Arsenal, who play tonight. But Manchester City, listen, yes, they're conceding goals, but they're scoring them. The talent on that pitch, you still can't deny that they are real title contenders. I think probably the only team who are going to push Arsenal the whole way this season. But as well, you look at the amount of goals they're conceding, 16 in the last 14 games. Well, it was 3-2 to Leeds last week, the week before, 2-1 to Newcastle. In comparison to Arsenal, who have 7 in 13 games so far. But you know what? Pep Guardiola didn't seem too concerned and told us the 5-4 scoreline at Fulham shows the beauty of the Premier League.
And 1 second later, it's 5-4. And in the Premier League, with this beautiful stadium, the crowd goes, and here, because this is the stadium, but then in the stadium, the Premier League starts. And listen, it's just pray. It's just, okay, whatever will happen and finish the game. But that's why Premier League is unique. The Premier League is beautiful. The Premier League is, I say in that, because we won, of course, yeah, but I would say the same. I will be more angry, I will be sad, but I would say the Premier League is unique for that.
And that's why we love it. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Thomas Frank had all eyes on him last night after hitting yesterday's front pages, claiming that he had the backing of the board, saying that they were intelligence and that he was under no pressure just yet. His team showed some spirit as Spurs came back to draw 2-2 at Newcastle. Tottenham captain Christian Romero scored an overhead to level it. And when I say overhead, it probably sounds a lot more glamorous than how it looked. To be fair, it did come off his shin and somehow bobbled in slow motion. But you know what? A goal is a goal. Prior to that, Newcastle went 2-1 up through Anthony Gordon penalty. Jamie O'Hara couldn't believe the penalty was given, but Jason Cundy wasn't having it.
The problem you've got is Bentancur don't look at the ball. He don't look at it once. And that puts him... It's not a good look, Jay. You can't not look at the ball. And you can't win the ball.
It's man and ball defending from a corner, right? Isn't it?
But you've got to be able to see the ball.
Trying to watch your man, and you're trying to see the ball, but you mark your man. But, he hasn't got the opportunity to look at the ball when the ball comes in. Because Stanburn has him in a headlock.
No, he doesn't have him in a headlock.
He does.
No, he doesn't have him in a headlock. Jay, he's not got him in a headlock. All right, look, do you want me to put you in a headlock? Right? And I'll show what a headlock looks like.
No chance put me in a headlock.
Get round that neck.
What are those two like? Lots of questions around that penalty. I've seen arguments for both of them. I guess the deciding factor was the fact that he was looking at Dan Burn when he was brought down to the ground, but then Dan Burn leant into it. He was playing for it. And then another question arises when it comes to VAR. Actually, at what point does the referee have to take the decision onto his own back? At the moment, we know exactly what the decision's going to be when they're called to that screen, when they're advised to have another look. So it'll be fascinating as well to see, from a referee's point of view on the pitch, the real life timing that he saw that decision. Was it a penalty? Wasn't it? I don't know. I think they were both just as bad as each other. But yeah, did I think it was a penalty? Probably not, but there we go. Potato. What is it? Tomato, potato. No, tomato. That's it. Okay, well, frustrations still remain amongst Spurs fans, and Tony called the boys on the sports bar to moan about the players.
You see, when you got a Doggy and Porro in the team, we're not going to win nothing.
Go on. What do you mean?
We're not going to win. Look, when we play, there's no headers from Porro. Every time a Doggy gets the ball, he loses the ball. There's no support. He runs off, leaves the left side open. This is why Romero and Van der Ven always getting fouling and always getting cards. It's because of them two. We're not going to win nothing with them.
Yeah, frustrations still there. Fans still wanting more from the players. That result leaves Tottenham in 11th place in the Premier League, ahead but joint on points with Newcastle, of course, after that result, and Brentford, who they play at home on Saturday. Also, as well, the Lionesses played last night against Ghana. They beat them 2-0 to end their fixtures for the season. And also, as well, a quick message to Woodsy, or Laura Woods, who took a turn and fainted at the game. So a huge get well to her today. And I think she posted on Instagram, didn't she, her and Adam, saying that she was okay and she probably had a bit of a virus and that she needed to get hydrated. So yeah, sending big love to Laura from everyone here at talkSPORT. Right, question of the day for you listeners. We asked you about Christmas films last night, and I don't know if you noticed, but it was agreed on national TV and by Bruce Willis that Die Hard is not a Christmas film. There we go, nail in the coffin. Sorry, talkSPORT listeners, because we had the opposite result. Our question today is, who is the best striker we've ever seen in the Premier League? This is after Erling Haaland scored his 100th goal in the Premier League, taking him the time in 111 games to do so, 13 faster than Alan Shearer. So that's what we want to know. Who is the best striker we've ever seen in the Premier League? We've had Drogba from producer Nick. I've said Aguero. Let us know who we're leaving out and why. Give us a call, 03717 223344, or you can text us on 81089. This is Early Breakfast on talkSPORT with me, Sam Quek. Up next, we'll take a look at the back pages and hear from a very happy David Moyes on Jack Grealish's World Cup chances, and also a very dejected Andoni Iraola. Good morning, I'm Sam Quek and this is Early Breakfast on talkSPORT. Thanks for your company this Wednesday morning. Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist will be here for talkSPORT Breakfast from 6 a.m. Some of the headlines that you're waking up to this morning. Police were guilty of deep complacency, fundamental failure and a concerted effort to blame fans during and after the Hillsborough disaster. A report from the police watchdog has found 12 officers would have faced misconduct proceedings if they were still serving by today's report. Big thoughts to the families of the Hillsborough disaster and as well as Margaret Aspinall, who leads the Hillsborough Law Campaign. Thinking of those today and the injustice that they have served over the last 36 years. Elsewhere, Spain won the Women's National League final. Women's Nations League final, beating Germany 3-0 thanks to goals from Barcelona duo Claudia Pina and Vicky Lopez. And Ipswich scored an injury time equaliser to earn a 1-1 draw at Blackburn in their replayed championship game. Blackburn manager Valerian Ismail was fuming. He's called the standard of the championship refereeing terrible and thought Ipswich should have had a man sent off. Azayoyo Matusiwa was brought down Yuki Ohashi at the break.
The red card is a disgrace, so it's terrible. So I can't accept that. It's a penalty on Yuki. And the last situation is a corner for us again. So again, the standard from the referee in the championship is terrible. The team fighting to get promoted, invest a lot of money to keep a very nice championship to play football. And every game, every 3 days is always the same with the decision. The standard is really, really poor. And it's unacceptable when I see all the list of decision making against us. At some point it can happen. In 1 or 2 decisions, I didn't say anything. But now that one with the red card is obvious. Maybe it's because it's a Premier League club or from a Premier League club I wanted to help them because nobody can understand. And so this is a terrible decision.
For more on the day's biggest stories, head over to talksport.com. OK, this morning we've been asking who is the Premier League's best ever striker, as well as sending get well messages to Woodsy. Martin Weymouth has said, get well soon, Laura. And well done to Katie for stepping in on ITV's coverage of the Lionesses last night. Darren, the Spurs fan, says Harry Kane was the best. Look at Spurs now without him. Anonymous has said, can't believe you haven't mentioned Luis Suarez. Unplayable on his day. Chris, Arsenal fan, Thierry Henry is clearly the greatest. And Robbie Fowler is one of the best finishers in the Premier League that it is ever seen. Yeah, good shout there, Chris. Also, Lee, another Liverpool player, Ian Rush, the legend, or Jimmy Greaves. Football existed before the Premier League, you know. Yeah, this is true. But I think we're doing Premier League there, weren't we? Because of Haaland's record-breaking Centurion goal last night and achieving that feat in just 111 games, 13 faster than Alan Shearer, who held the previous record. Right, over to Everton now, and David Moyes has called Jack Grealish a match winner after the winger scored the only goal of the game to beat Bournemouth last night. talkSPORT's Alex Crook spoke to Moyes after the win.
We've got the World Cup draw on Friday. You'll be keeping a keen eye on that from a Scotland point of view. But in terms of England, can Jack still force his way onto the plane for next summer?
I think he's going to have to play well. I think if you look at the wide players what England have got at their sort of the amount they could pick, it's incredible the sort of good players England have got at the moment. But Jack, has got somebody who doesn't give the ball away, carries the ball well. He's sort of a real acquired taste. And if the manager likes him and thinks he can help him at different moments, he'll be very good at those things.
Really like Jack Grealish. I think he's doing brilliant at Everton and doing brilliant things for the Everton team. It was also fascinating to hear Jack Grealish speak so highly of his manager, David Moyes. So clearly that relationship is really helping him flourish. Can he get back into the England team? I think a lot of people would like that because he's such a great guy, great personality. But I think it's too late now. It's probably more out of his hands than in his hands when you've got the likes of Anthony Gordon, Rashford probably ahead of him. And I suppose even Eze can play there. And Foden, who's hitting form, potentially wouldn't be on the left, but another midfielder who would potentially go ahead of him. Also as well, Cole Palmer. I know he's out injured still, but still a lot of time to go before the World Cup. But Jack Grealish doing great at Everton. Meanwhile, Bournemouth have now lost 4 in 5, and Andoni Iraola sounds worried.
Yes, I think we've been really poor. Probably the worst game we've played this season. I think it has been like probably the game Everton wanted to play, no? Not very slow rhythm, not a lot of chances for any of the teams, and we lacked, I think, quality on our build-up on the ball. And when you don't make them defend properly, then they are not tired, they are fresh, and they have very good players, then they can keep the ball. I think we defended well, and Ndiaye, Grealish in one against one situations, but we were playing the game that Everton wanted, with set pieces, and I think at the end is deserves the win from Everton.
Bournemouth are now 14th in the Premier League, and keeping in mind they were second on October 26, so rapidly falling down the table there. They've only taken 1 point from their last 5 games. That point came from a draw against West Ham and losses against Sunderland, Villa, City, and of course last night's loss to Everton. And it doesn't look to be getting easier for Bournemouth. On Saturday they face Chelsea at home, and the week after that Manchester United away. So a tough few games for Bournemouth. Okay, time now to get into the back pages. Nick, back in the studio. Are we missing anything from our headlines that we haven't touched upon on the back pages this morning?
Well, in terms of missing anything, I mean, I think that the back pages are full of Erling Haaland and how many puns you can make on the word.
Go on, give us some. Go on.
Tunbelievable.
Nice.
Mirror Sport, Sun Sport, ton it, done it, ton it. Not sure about that. Ton in a million, which is
nice.
one in a million. There's they don't sound good when you read them, do they? And special ton, as in special one.
Nice.
I mean, we saw that video. Did you see that video of Erling Haaland and what his home life is like? Did you see that thing he put out?
Specimen, isn't he?
Well, he's just like, so there's like marginal gains about, he tapes up his face at night so he doesn't snore too much. He has that UV light chamber he stands in front of.
Yeah, ice baths as well.
Drinks raw milk.
Yeah, he loves his milk, doesn't he?
Maybe
he feel like pints and pints every week.
He drinks it unpasteurized, which can actually give you health problems. So, the science is not, we probably should be drinking pasteurized milk, but he looks pretty good on it. Got some potentially interesting news for Brentford or West Ham fans. They're looking at this young Portugal under-21 defender, guy called Thiago Gabriel, who's absolutely tearing it up in Serie A for Lecce, who bought him for 1.5 million. Thiago Gabriel is being monitored by both West Ham and Brentford and Juventus. He's only 20 years old, but a lot of noise about him in Serie A. West Ham especially keen to improve their leaky backline as well. So be interesting to see developments on that in January.
I love how clubs have always got like a football spy all over the world, haven't they? Obviously, they're scouts and they can see all the talent coming through. But it's quite a lot on stats, isn't it? And spreadsheets and
famously,
numbers and stats.
Brighton
like Football Manager.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brighton have got their own software, their own intellectual property that's obviously that Tony Bloom's developed and he's used for his other clubs as well. So
it's a bit like that. Have you ever seen that film Moneyball with Brad Pitt? About baseball.
I have not seen it yet.
And it's basically based around the stats and figures.
Yeah.
To get the best baseball team.
Jonah Hill's like the stats guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bring him in.
Yeah, great film.
I would like to watch that about the Oakland A's. Just wanted to mention a passing of a legend, really. Robin Smith, England cricketer, only 62, died overnight. It was living out in Australia. When I was growing up, he was one of the great Hampshire players and also brilliant record for England. He averaged 44 for England in test matches. That is a record that, he would walk into the side. At the moment, most of our batters are averaging sort of mid-30s. And Michael Atherton's written a really nice piece in the back of the Times talking about Robin Smith, his recent problems with alcoholism and depression. And also, just to mention that talkSPORT's Steve Harmison does a great podcast talking about life after professional sport, how sportsmen and women deal with retirement, basically. Harmy's had his own problems. And that's really good. So it's called When the Lights Go Out. So if anyone's interested, they can get that on the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcasts. And then just quickly on a bit of broadcasting news, BBC not planning to send any TV pundits to the World Cup next year until the quarter-final stage. They'll all be doing it off the tube. Do you think that's going to lack a bit of atmosphere?
It's sad to see, but it comes down to money, doesn't it, for the BBC?
Yeah,
I think they've done it. They did it for the Women's World Cup.
Yeah. Did you notice the difference?
I think so. You want your presenters to be in there, and I think also being a presenter and presenting at live events, you just get the buzz and the feel off the crowd, being able to go out and, you know, do little VTs in and amongst them. It's a shame.
TNT's cricket coverage of the first Ashes test got absolutely slammed because they got half the presenters in the UK and then half out in Australia.
Yeah, they were doing the commentary, weren't they, from just a studio in London?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky job. And the broadcasters did a good job, but yeah, I think sometimes you just got to be there. Very quickly before I go, some more TV news. ITV have won the rights to show this new Nations Championship in rugby union. So rugby union coming back to free-to-air TV. This new sort of Nations Championship is going to be featuring 6 nations and then a load of Southern Hemisphere teams as well next year. It's new: South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Fiji, and Japan.
So good news for rugby then.
Good news for rugby union fans.
TV.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Nick. I'm Sam Quek and this is Early Breakfast. It is 5:29 up next. We'll tell you how you can win tickets to the darts with talkSPORT and take a look at the front pages.
Sport is often filled with people trying to make a quick buck, often at fans' expenses. But sometimes someone on the fringes comes up with an exhibition idea that goes down a storm. Let me tell you about a couple of them. Mallorca 2007. Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer compete in what was dubbed the Battle of the Surfaces, a unique idea that reportedly almost got cancelled at the last minute when worms got into the grass. An 11th hour turf delivery got the match on, and despite some dodgy bounces on the new green stuff, Rafa and Roger slugged out a 3-set epic. Tennis has a history of exhibitions too, with the Battle of the Sexes in 1973 captivating audiences worldwide as Billie Jean King took on the former world #1 men's player Bobby Riggs, who talked down the women's game. Billie Jean King won. In motorsport, there was Monzanapolis in the 50s when American Indy cars went up against European F1 cars. But perhaps the best exhibitions have been the charity ones. In 1998, legends like Mike Atherton, Sachin Tendulkar and Glenn McGrath turned out at Lord's for a one-dayer in memory of Princess Diana. And since 2006, we've had Soccer Aid, which has raised an incredible amount of money. And if you get to see the likes of Jose Mourinho taking out Ollie Mers, then what's not to like?
Good morning, I'm Sam Quek. You're listening to Early Breakfast on talkSPORT, and we're building up to breakfast with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist at 6 a.m. Some of the headlines you're waking up to this Wednesday morning. England cricketers begin their second Ashes test against Australia tonight, hoping to level the series. Will Jacks has replaced fast bowler Mark Wood in the only change from the opening two-day defeat in Perth. There's a full preview on talkSPORT's Following On podcast. Martin O'Neill will take interim charge of Celtic for the final time when they host Dundee at Parkhead tonight. Frenchman Wilfred Nancy will then take over as the permanent replacement for Brendan Rodgers. And West Ham boss Nuno Espirito Santo says Lucas Paqueta is not okay after his red card for dissent against Liverpool. Paqueta blamed his behaviour on the FA for not supporting him through an investigation into spot fixing. Paqueta was cleared and has said sorry for the sending off.
I spoke with Lucas. Lucas spoke not only to me but to all the teammates. First of all, he apologized. He's aware of his mistake, but we as a club, first and foremost, we protect our own, and that was, we solved the things among ourselves. And it's clear that everybody understood that in life, everybody is aware that can happen mistakes inside of the football pitch. Sometimes the emotions, you cannot control it, but at the same time, everybody deserves a chance. And this is the case. We move forward. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. He's suffering. He's disappointed. He's sad. But he realized the mistake that he made, and he's willing to move forward. This is what sometimes people are aware of all the problems that football players endure. But Lucas, I think, is going to overcome this situation.
For more on all these stories, visit talksport.com. OK, this morning we've been asking, who is the Premier League's greatest striker? This comes after Erling Haaland scored 100 Premier League goals in record time of 111 games, 13 faster than Alan Shearer. You've been texting in, lots of you this morning. Thank you very much. David, the Sunderland fan, says, as much as it pains me to say, the Premier League's greatest ever striker is still Alan Shearer, annoyingly. Simon in Crawley Down says, the numbers don't lie. Haaland is the greatest. He probably would have scored more goals as well if he wasn't subbed so much. Shearer rarely came off. I'm a Palace fan and I don't rate Mateta. Give him 10 clear chances and he'll score 2. Harvey, the Fulham fan, says, what a crazy game at the Cottage last night. Fills me with hope for the rest of the season. This is true. Great game. It was, Harvey, indeed. OK, it's competition time now.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
We are a week away from the talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy, and this is your chance to be there. You and a mate could be the only members of the public allowed in next Wednesday, the 10th of December in London, as 8 of talkSPORT's biggest names take on the Oki. You could be right there with us and rub shoulders with your favourite talkSPORT presenters. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to see Natalie the Destroyer Sawyer take on Darren the Truth Bent? Or what about this for a matchup? Jamie the Chunk O'Hara going against Jason Bill Bull Cundy. 2 teams, 1 team, the Tipple 20 Promotions versus Flight and Jordan Limited. So official, those names, aren't they? Great team names. But remember as well, the very next day, you could be heading to the opening day of the PDC World Darts Championship, have 2 nights in a hotel covered and $2,500 in cash. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close at 4 p.m. tomorrow, and that's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. You've got to be 18 or over, UK excluding Northern Ireland. So, for your chance to win, just text WIN to 83338 right now. This is a network promotion, and for full T's and C's, they can be found at talksport.com.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
OK, now it's time for this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast.
talkSPORT.
Right, Amelia's back in with us to do the front pages, not the news headlines. That was my bad.
Don't worry.
I'm excited to have you in here, Amelia. What stories have you got for us then this morning?
So, first one is not going to make many people who are hoping to go to the World Cup very happy. Oh. So, it's a story that is suggesting FIFA will be cashing in on ticket resales from both the buyer and the seller. So they'll be taking a 15% cut from both the buyer and the seller. So they'll be taking 30% of the ticket resales.
Takes a nick, that, doesn't it?
It does, considering some of the ticket resales. So one, for instance, is going $1,400, and a ticket to the final is going for nearly £33,000.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of way to monitor this. I mean, is it because it's in America? It'll be fascinating to see if the early group games are going to be full sell-out stadiums.
Well,
that price, surely
they're saying roughly around 27,000 England supporters are going to be going out there, but they'll only be able to have access. That's roughly access to about 8% of the tickets available across the whole tournament.
Crazy.
But I guess it is because it's in America. I know that they're over here in the UK. They're trying to do something about it, trying to make sure that they can stop ticket touts from overselling and reselling.
I mean, when you take into the price of flights and then the accommodation, one of my mates is going over, and he's just said it's just you can't even get a hotel, and when you want a hotel, it's just through the roof.
Well, even as Nick was saying earlier, the BBC aren't even going to be doing that. So
shocking.
I
do like America hosting things, but that is taking the mick.
It is taking the mick. Right, let's move on now to an England football star is now possibly going to be starring in a pantomime.
Oh, pantomimes are in at the moment. I always remember when celebs used to be in pantomimes, everyone was like, oh no.
Okay.
They're clearly, they're losing a little bit of the celeb status. No, it's the thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is it? Come on.
So he's going to be a genie. I'll give you a clue. He played last night. Well, his team played last night. And he plays for England as well.
So what team? City? Surely not.
Newcastle.
English.
Yeah.
It's not Anthony Gordon, is it?
No, it's not.
Who else? Dan Burn?
Dan Burn, the genie at the pantomime.
He seems like he's always up for a good laugh. And if he's got kids, he's going to get dad goals there, isn't he?
Also, he's 6'7", I guess, as well. If you remember watching Aladdin as a kid, you remember the big, grand, big blue thing. So, yeah.
Where's that going to be? Is it said what theatre?
Phoenix Theatre in Blyth.
Where's Blyth? That's terrible.
Northumberland.
Okay, so it's not too far for him to travel.
No.
That'd be great. Toon fans, go and get your panto tickets. The mighty Dan Burn as a genie.
Oh, yeah. And right, this story I've been teeing up
you have all morning.
since I've come in this morning. So, a raccoon in the States had a pretty wild Friday night over in Virginia and basically broke into a liquor store and ransacked the whole thing. So workers came in Saturday morning and there were bottle smash everywhere and they thought, who the heck has done this? They've gone into the toilets and they found the poor little thing passed out on the floor.
Steaming.
Absolutely steaming. And then when they've gone for checks and everything like that, they've said like, oh yeah, he's literally as drunk as a skunk.
Oh my God.
And you'd think, oh my God, I want to see a raccoon ransacking a liquor store and getting really, really drunk. But they can't do it because he's come through the ceiling and he's knocked out all the CCTV cameras.
Oh.
So there's no footage of this poor little raccoon getting incredibly drunk.
Wow, what a lad that raccoon is. I've seen loads of raccoon videos. And they are proper cheeky. They're pretty handy as well, getting into like windows and doors. And they go around, don't they? Like just basically trying to steal stuff.
Yeah, but it's weird. Another weird thing about America is that they will like try and bring them into the house and stuff like that. And they'll bring them in. Like they will try.
Humans will bring. Sorry.
Well, this is some of the videos that I've seen of raccoons where people like will bring them into the house and stuff like that.
They are cute.
They
are
hands.
Cute. Although aren't they meant to be really aggressive?
Oh yeah. They're really.
If a raccoon wasn't as aggressive, I think, I like raccoons are cute, their little hands, their little faces. Meerkats as well. I'd have a pet meerkat if I could.
Same with skunks, but then once it's lifted its tail up, it's a different story.
Don't need a skunk. Got my husband at home. Right. Amelia, thank you very much for that. Fully appreciated. This is Early Sports Breakfast with me, Sam Quek. Up next, we'll look ahead at tonight's Premier League games live on the talkSPORT network tonight.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, I'm Sam Quek and you're listening to Early Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. We're building up to breakfast at 6 a.m. with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoyce. OK, well, tonight we have more Premier League action for you on talkSPORT. 6 games, in fact. And after City closing the gap at the top of the table to 2 points, it's over to Arsenal ahead of what's sure to be another crazy night in the Premier League.
Hammered into the back of the net! Declan Rice!
Arsenal the most rounded team and probably the best performing team in Europe.
And Thiago has given Brentford a much-deserved lead.
Plays it to Minter, the angle is tight. Onto the left foot, he's doing it again!
Lost the cross in Marlon with a header, and it's in!
There's still a long, long way to go.
Anthony on the charge, edge of the penalty here, onto his right foot first, the shot deflected, and in!
Getty with a curler!
Wolves, 13th in a row in the league so far this season without victory.
There's a lot there to build on.
Right for the delivery and headed down and in!
Igor Jesus again!
Monta for 2-0!
It comes to Enzo Fernandez.
And a first Premier League goal for Alexander Isak.
Plays it to the edge of the box, Xhaka deflected, and in!
Knowing that Sunderland is a team that beat Chelsea and had a draw against Arsenal, such a difficult team to play against.
Well, Arsenal could go 5 points clear again with a win at home to Brentford. Live here on talkSPORT tonight. And Mikel Arteta's team. Mikel Arteta has taken a moment to praise Declan Rice.
He's certainly one that is taking us to a different level. And he's certainly a player that has brought something different to our way of playing.
Yeah, Declan Rice is just playing unbelievable, isn't he? What a player he's becoming at Arsenal. Also, as well, Arsenal, the set-piece kings. They've scored 10 from free kicks, corners and throw-ins this season. And while Brentford are the Premier League's penalty kings, they've been awarded 7 this season already and have scored 5. Brentford's Keith Andrews was asked about this element of tonight's game.
There will always be a lot made of that, the set-piece battle, invariably two teams that are pretty good at that aspect of the game. Most games, you know, set pieces play a part, I would say, to different levels. I think this will be a game where it plays a really big part, and we hope we can come out the right side of that.
It'll be a good game tonight. Arsenal versus Brentford live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. Over on talkSPORT 2, Liverpool will host this season's surprise package. Sunderland. talkSPORT's Ali McCoy says Slot was right to drop Salah at the weekend.
If there is one player in the league that we can cut a bit of slack for a dropping for him, it's got to be Mo Salah, because he has lit up our league for a great number of years, and he has been absolutely sensational. Now, getting back to the point, he's not been rotated, he's been dropped, and the bottom line is, in my opinion, he should have been dropped, because he hasn't been performing, as I mentioned, in like to the level that he can. And Liverpool have been suffering, not just totally down to Mo Salah, but it has been, in my opinion, it's been a massive contributing factor.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what Arne Slot does tonight. Of course, he said that Salah was not dropped and it was down to games coming thick and fast and that he was on rotation. But yeah, fascinating. I think everybody will be waiting for that lineup tonight. But a great game ahead at Anfield. That, of course, will be on talkSPORT 2 this evening. Here's also Sunderland boss Regis Lebris on the challenge of playing for Liverpool at Anfield.
Another game in a really special place, that's fair. But I think our players, even if we have a young team, have now the good experience, and they want to be competitive, because otherwise we'll be a spectator, and we don't want to be a spectator. So Liverpool will be strong, 100%. The place is impressive, but at the same time, we want to be competitive, so we'll see.
Liverpool versus Sunderland is live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. While we've also got Brighton versus Aston Villa, Burnley versus Crystal Palace, and Wolves versus Nottingham Forest. They're all on the talkSPORT app. Download it to swipe between all of tonight's game. It's going to be action-packed, that's for sure. And if it's like anything like last night, I cannot wait. There was goals galore. We've also had a message as well from Greg, the Stoke fan.
We lost one of our hockey legends last week, Imran Shawani, who scored 2 goals in the 1988 Olympic gold medal final, beating West Germany. Imran was a great inspiration across the city and the county of Stoke-on-Trent, supporting various clubs, playing at various clubs, and introducing youngsters to the game of field hockey.
Well said, Greg. Yeah, I would like to send my condolences as well to Imran's family. I think he's got 3 children, and I met him a few times. He was so kind, so warm, so welcoming, so open. So, yeah, thoughts to his family and also the hockey family as well. I think a lot of people have such fond memories of him off the field, but also on the field, getting that gold medal for Great Britain in 1988. Also, as well, we've had further texts from you guys this morning. Thank you very much. Darren says, why is Sam, the fortune teller Quek, not playing in the talkSPORT darts competition? I don't know, Darren, but can you get back to me on why I'm a fortune teller? Quite like that. I wish I was. But yeah, I'm not. You know what? Again, I'm going to sound full of myself, but normally when I play sport, I can do it to a decent standard and hold my own. But darts, absolutely not. I just lack the finesse. I lack the precision. I haven't got a soft touch. Maybe I just need a little bit of practice. Also, we've been asking this morning about the Premier League's greatest striker after Erling Haaland scored 100 last night, 13 games faster than Alan Shearer. Haaland doing it in 111 games. What a player he is. But we wanted to know, is he the greatest Premier League striker of all time? Lots of you getting in touch. Ian from Thrapston says, Jamie Vardy. Don't forget about him. Absolute legend, staying with Leicester all that time and banging them in. From what? Banging them in? Left, right and centre. Right, loads coming up as well for breakfast for you this morning. Joining Alan and Ali, former Spurs and Barcelona striker Steve Archibald joins us to talk about Tottenham's draw last night at St James's Park. Also, ex-Liverpool and Palace manager Roy Hodgson will look ahead to Sunderland's trip to Anfield and Palace at Burnley tonight. And the boys will have a go at Aussie cricket journalist Malcolm Conn ahead of the second Ashes test. You've been listening to Early Sports Breakfast with me, Sam Quek, Alan and Ali on the way.